Okay. Um, so I will go through this, but then we can talk specifically about your account at the end, and we can record that or not.
Okay, sounds good.
Um, but so this is kind of just getting on the same page with LFM with everybody and how I like to use it and I think is a good way to use it. Oh yeah, Mike's here. Um, and also it is going to get into the weeds just a little bit, but there's not a test or anything at the end that you have to pass. It's just more that I do want to demonstrate kind of like the complexity of it. And the most important takeaway to me is like, what can the producer do and what does the administrator have to do and how you can, work with that. So it won't go forward. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna go over all of these things. First, we're gonna talk about it. Hi, Prescott.
Hey there.
Thanks for coming. We just got started, so I haven't said anything important yet. Um, we're gonna go over which platform to sign into, uh, source identified platform. So we are setting up this platform for you to create your own account and sell your product. So there are lots of points where you can customize your product and your platform. Um, and so we make sure that is looking good for everybody. Photos, we're going to go over that, but they're very important. Um, Offering a variety of price points. So there's different ways to do this in LFM with type A or type C products, either one. And that I think really works well. Like I think actually, Susan, you kind of proved that with flowers when you started off with the big bouquets and then you started doing half bouquets. They do this with mushrooms, and sometimes that's a good way to get people to try your product if they haven't before and they want to take a chance on it, but they're not quite sure about it yet. Um, and then quality and accuracy of product, and this kind of goes with the photos, and then just also with what you send. If you are value added, this probably isn't as big of a consideration, but for vegetables and baked goods, I think this is really important. So let's log into LFM. You can log into LFM from our main website or from uh, you know, the Food Hub site. If it logs you directly in and you don't know which one of these you're in, you can log out to get to this page. So it should say connect and be much greener and, the font is bigger if you're in connect. We use this one, Market Manager Login, and I think it is much easier to use right now. Connect is kind of set up to be easier to use on the phone, and there are some functions in the Legacy Producer login that don't work on the phone. So, the only way you're going to know that is if you go on there on your phone and you can't do it, but there are ways to use Connect or to use both if you're going to be on your phone a lot, if you're going to be wanting to switch make quick switches on your phone. You might want to use Connect, but you do have to remember that your product has to be like uploaded between the two. So if you're going back and forth between the two, that's not recommended. You should pick one or the other. And I recommend that you pick this one. Um, oh, doesn't recognize. And when you log in, it won't look like this. My computer or my internet gets really slow when I share my screen, you guys. Sorry.
I think something's going on with the platform right now, Shannon. I can't even get I've had the spinning circle on the pick list for a couple minutes,
Oh,
well, like 10
really?
minutes. So I think they're down on their side
Oh my
somehow.
gosh, like right when I started a workshop about LFM.
That's funny.
Not great timing.
Okay, cool, cool. Um, okay. Well, let's see if this one works. Okay, this still works. So we can kind of talk about some of these things even though we can't see this. So when you log in uh, to your dashboard, you have your settings where you can have your front-facing information. And then the second tab of that is your business information, making sure that is updated because people can access, they can look you up in here. They can look you up from the main site. And then that takes them to your page. It's good, it'd be good to say, uh, where you're located. Like you don't have to say your address.
Okay.
And then otherwise, this is a really good one. That's why I'm using it as an example. Also, the Willard Woods one is good. So I was gonna shout you out too. So it has, you can go to their website, you can put things on here of like where else that you sell, or we're also come see us at the, Bayview Farmers Market or whatever. I also use this is our newsletter. So I feature like 4 or 5 things in here. Sometimes it's just one thing, like a new product, or sometimes I like to try to combine, like, oh, this stuff pumpkin could be entirely made with local products, right? So if you send me information, it would go on here. But I always link to your specific page. So your product uh, gets featured and then it goes straight to your specific page. So if your page is blank, or I mean, this is where you can connect with your customers and then they can buy all of your products directly on here. So that is also why um, it's important for your products to look how you want them to look as well. You definitely need pictures for everything. And I think this is a good one.
Yeah.
Like when people scroll through the site, even though these aren't alphabetical, so the site is set up by category and then it's alphabetical within that category. But when someone scrolls through, they're gonna be able to know that these are all branded um, from the same producer. So they'll be able to recognize you. Another way to do that is with our soap people. Harbor Acres starts all of, not all, most of her soaps with bar soap. So when you're scrolling through, this is just our actual Food Hub site. All of her products are kind of together like that. And then House Harvest does natural soap. So now all of her products are now coming up and they're all together. So you can look at those. And then,
Shannon, will you
yeah.
remind me where we set those titles?
Yes,
Like,
that is actually like a whole section that I'm going to
okay.
talk about. So we just got an update from LFM where they're putting the tagline back on here. So that's also something to think about, and that's easy to change. So you can set that for vegetables too. For vegetables, it's a little bit different, right? Because people are not necessarily shopping by producer for vegetables, they're shopping by item. So you really want your item to be parsley, comma, whatever, so that all the parsleys are together and people can choose based on that. It's always good to put a comma something. People, if it's parsley, 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 and then parsley, Milan Italian, then they're probably going to choose that because it's more fun. So differentiating yourself, but also being mindful of where those products are going to show up in your category in alphabetized.
Shen, just one quick on that page you were just on. I'm just curious, this is feedback for the creators of this, but the product page you were just looking over. So they use two different types of cards, right? Like, so here you see these card objects that show a photo, the title, the price, whether more info available, and ordering closed. But if you look on the producer page, they use a different type of card that doesn't have all this information. So I'm curious why they made the decision to not just reuse this more informative and helpful card that you see here on the producer page.
So, is this the one you're talking about?
No, if you go to, like, you had the Will Hartwood's page, producer page open, or the bakery. Um, so just go to any of those.
Oops, she's not going to have
And
one. Sorry.
oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
So
there
here,
just is.
like, why are
Mhm.
those full cards not just reused here? It's like a reusable element they've got programmed, but these are actually not useful because you can't see more details about it. You have to click into it. And then on this page, they don't even bother to put like ordering closed. So it's confusing because people can go to these pages at any time, but this whole concept of the ordering period, I think, is really difficult for people who are just casual shoppers on here to understand. And so if you go to one of those, like the gluten-free oatmeal raisin cookies, you're like, well, why can't I buy this?
Mhm. Yeah, it
So
doesn't say anywhere.
elsewhere, they say ordering is closed, but they don't bother to be consistent throughout a lot of these things. They really, really need to dial in their consistent messaging. They're all over the place in how they just kind of throw out different and unique elements all throughout this site that and they it doesn't seem like anybody on the team there is thinking like holistically about the user experience here. And so just one quick bit of input for them that might be useful is like, why don't you just reuse that card that has all that information on it on this page so that when somebody comes to a producer page, they can see more details about it, including if ordering is closed right now. And then it's like they already have that card programmed somewhere. They just need to call it out here. Instead, they're calling out this separate, unique one that's really not that useful.
Yeah, 100%. Another thing about that is if one of these products is sold out, it doesn't say until you click on it. And
Yeah.
I don't think any of theirs on here were sold out, but I did notice that, and that is a great point that I will pass on. And they're always making updates, but I think you're right on in how they're making the updates. They're just kind of like stacked on top of each other rather
Yeah.
than like
There's not like
a
a big
plan.
plan that somebody has been like, okay, let's be
Yeah.
in the shoes of a customer here and walk through this journey. What's helpful to them?
Yeah. When I do the Puget Sound Food Hub order, because I just order off of the Food Hub just like you got these our customers do on ours, I always imagine that I'm like videoing it and sending it to Amy
Yeah.
McCann and being like, do you see what I have to do to get these products? 100%. That's
Yeah.
great. Thank you. I will totally pass that on and it will go
Okay.
to decision makers, but ultimately their decision.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but we do get to do that a lot. But I have a every other month meeting with her and other food hubs that she comes to, and they're always really um, responsive to
Yeah.
questions and stuff, which I recommend at the end. Please ask them any
Sure.
questions that you want and give them that feedback because um, the more they hear it as well, then the higher of a priority that it's going to be.
Sure. Sure.
Because of course they want the system to work well for us.
Yeah.
Okay. So I can't really show you anything on LFM, which is a bummer. Um, I'm just going to try it one more time. Okay. Photos are essential. I know that photos are annoying to upload and keep track of. Um, I think for value added, definitely just having to do it one time, but people are ordering off of the photos. They're ordering sight unseen. They don't know what they're getting, especially if it's, fruits, vegetables, baked goods, flowers. So, possibly doing like a once a season photo shoot or um figuring out a way to make changes if the difference between the photo and the product is going to be a big difference. So if you have two kohlrabis, I'm making this up, I'm not using any real examples. If you have two little kohlrabis in your picture in a bunch and you send a kohlrabi that's this big, then you're probably going to have a customer who's not exactly thrilled with that. Um, we had one with Puget Sound Food Hub where we had Savoy cabbage and it was like the beautiful, like big leafed picture, which I copy those directly off the Puget Sound Food Hub site onto our site to sell those things. And then when they came in, they were just like green cabbage with a slight ruffle that, people, if people take that and don't complain, they're still getting a taste in their mouth of like, if there's any question, should I order this because I haven't seen it? Um, and then if they do complain, then, that's a credit and that you don't get that sale. So that's really important. I've seen it a lot more uh, in the past year. Um, I think as some of our businesses mature with us and they've been with us 2, 3, 4 years, we need to update these things and make sure they're fresh every year, and every season so that they're accurate. Um, and some people, have little brands like I showed you with the value added, but then also like Boggy Hill has her, little wooden thing with her logo that she takes pictures with stuff on. That's a great way to signal your uh, products to people. They'll recognize that. Um, and so we'll just move on from that since we can't go on LFM. So, we once, you do a little audit of your products, making sure everything's up to date, that you have your taglines, that you have pictures that are accurate, that your information's accurate on there, and that people, anything you want people to know and direct them to is all on there. Then other ways to promote it once it's on there, because it's a big scroll through the hub. And especially if you're value added, you are after the fruits and vegetables. So partner promotion is all of our top sellers promote with us and promote together. So that is, just something that your audience needs to know, that you're on the Food Hub, and that also it's okay to order from you on the Food Hub. So the more that you kind of take that part of that responsibility on of promoting the Food Hub and that you're on there. Uh, that is how our top sellers do it. So time your product listings. You can start listing products on Thursday, so you have a lot of time to get those products uploaded before the customers come on Friday. We have our Friday customers who order right away. They reserve items. They're mostly, long returning customers. Like we've had customers who've been ordering from us since 2020, and they know what they want. They know their producers that they like, but then they also love new stuff. So these are like our diehards, and you want to, hit them right away. And then the Monday to Tuesday time frame, up to 8:59 is our high customer ordering time. So most of our orders happen then. Having your products ready to go by Monday, early morning Monday, so that you can hit that. If you're listing a new product on Tuesday afternoon, um, you're not giving the customers enough time to see that product for that order period, which, is fine if you're going to keep listing it, then do it when you have to do it, But in terms of like if you wanted to move some of that product that order period, that's going to be a little bit harder because people won't necessarily be on there. I think the Friday and weekend customers, um, I don't totally know this, but I do encourage people to go back on and check for new things. And we do have, especially in the main season, vegetables and new vegetables that will come on Monday. So I do think the recurring customers will check back um between when they order over the weekend and Monday or Tuesday. So always good to be listing products so that customers can see them when they're trying to order. Tell your audiences about us. So let your customers and audiences know that your products are available on the hub, that you're a member of the co-op. Why are you a member of the co-op? Why are you selling on the food hub? Why do you think it's a good idea? People aren't necessarily familiar immediately with the idea of what a food hub is and how it operates on the back end. So we're working on that with our marketing, especially right now. That's a lot of our market analysis that we got last year from our summer intern. So that is something that you all can also do, and you can do it like as personally as possible. Like focus on yourself and your business and how they can order from you. But of course, it is a bigger, people do like that. It's a bigger picture thing, and that you can. I'll order from lots of producers. Also, if you are like at the farmer's market or another place, you can say, hey, if you're not available to come see me on Saturday, you can order from me on the Food Hub for this week and I'll see you next week, So there that it creates more opportunities for your direct customers to keep ordering from you.
Shannon, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Susan? Um, I was wondering if there's any way for us to get a hold of a like a yard sign that talks about the food hub because I have my flower stand here and it's a super Saratoga Road's a busy road. I have a lot of people come by. And I would love to put that on there because there's times where I put the food hub is my priority and the florists, and then the stand is all the leftovers. So if I don't have flowers left, it would be nice to say, hey, in the future, if you want to be guaranteed a bouquet, order it on the food hub. But it would be nice to have like, the political signs, something like that for the food hub.
Yeah, totally. Let's definitely do that. We can put something together, I
Okay.
think. And I'll show you what yard signs I have.
Okay.
Because
That
I
sounds
think they just say Woodby Island grown. So that's not maybe.
yeah, it almost would need to say you can also find this or I sell on Woodby Island grown too, but
Mhm.
something to that effect.
Yeah, totally. Yes, definitely. Let's put something in the farm stand. I think uh that's a great idea. Um, okay. Highlight new products on the Food Hub to your audience. So if you have a new product, let me know. We can put it in the newsletter. We can put it on social media. You can put it in your audience, like, hey, I just posted a new product on the Food Hub. Any reason to go there, any reason to look at your products is good, and we can partner on that. And then I kind of went over already, but make sure your producer profile is up to date and has all the ways to find you in the correct story of where your business is at currently. And then I can't see this one. I'm gonna move you guys. Send content to us. Any content that I get, I put in the newsletter because I want to encourage that. And so, literally, any content you send me, I will put it in the newsletter. I've also been kind of reaching out, doing some target outreach to people, just texting them, being like, send me a picture of, what you're doing right now or whatever, so that we can have more of that kind of like organic, like producer focused content. And a lot of the ways that I get my inspiration for the newsletter is just scroll through the food hub till I think of, look, see a product that I think of something I can say about it. Um, I try to do it by category, make sure multiple categories and multiple producers are represented. But an easy way for you to get promoted in the newsletter is to just send me a reason to say something about your product, especially if it's seasonal or if you have something else going on, but you don't even have to. You could just send me an email and be like, hey, uh, this clarity tea is whatever, and a picture, and that will be in the newsletter. And then participate in our media campaigns and requests for content. Like I said, when I reach out specifically, and then also when we do our gift hub or um, what did we do? Preserve the harvest, things like that. So people want to hear about you. They don't want to see pictures of LFM. They don't want to see pictures necessarily of vegetables. They want to see pictures of you guys. Uh, and they want to hear why you do this and what you like about it and why you're on the food hub and what you like about that. Uh-oh, did I freeze?
No, you're still good.
Okay,
Oh.
you guys froze. They really, really do want to hear about that. So, I really encourage you to give me literally any content. Questions. So these are kind of like the top three questions that I get. And I did ask for questions, and this was one of the questions, and it's been asked in the meeting already. So I'm going to go over this without getting on LFM, which is going to be great. Changing product names. So when you create a new product, that product goes into your LFM account. then you can edit that and you can add units and you can add a picture and customize it however you want. And then it also goes into a universal product list um, for Woodby Island grown LFM account. And then others can use that product name as well. So for something like tea, probably no one else is going to use that same product. But for something like carrots, comma, orange, many producers will have that product in their product availability, in their product section. If you change the name carrots, comma, orange, then it would change it for all those producers. So
Oh, interesting.
that's not possible. Everything else about the product, it's so frustrating that I can't like, oh, you guys. Okay. Um, yes. Okay.
There we go, just in
Here they
time.
all are, right? These are all the products. And so this one right here, this one has two sellers, blush tomato plant start. So neither of these people can update the name of this product, but once you put it into your product, then you can update everything else. So if you're a value-added producer and you have a product called um, the Home Place Mixed Bouquet, no one else is going to have that product name. And you can ask me, and I can go in there and change that product name.
Oh, okay.
If your product is carrots, comma, orange, and you want it to be carrots, comma, orange with the O being capital, you can just create a new product and have your own product. And if you, a lot of times people do this. We got a lot of carrots. So like we have 8 sellers with carrots, but here's carrots,
So,
comma, orange, here's carrots, comma, orange, right? So, um, that is how that works.
Shannon,
Yeah.
I guess a lot of my products I like to list as, what the variety is. So it might be carrots and you might buy it like Mokum. And I guess where I've had some problems in the past is I've gotten things I maybe set up with these taglines a long time ago. And I want to try to go back and get consistency in how I create those things. And it seems like I'm
Mhm.
always having to create a new product rather than being able to delete the one that's there um and yeah,
Oops,
a lot of
sorry.
times I want to delete something, but I can't seem to delete that. Can't,
Let's look at a product really quick. Um, we'll look at a uh vegetable product and we can look at a value-added product as well. But like, okay, so if we click on the product name is not editable, but everything else in here can be edited. So the pricing method, we have type A pricing, which is one bucket of inventory and many units. Um, this would not be used for value added. And then the base unit, a lot of times this is something I see people doing a new product to change the base unit, but you can change your base unit in your product anytime. So if your base unit's bag and you want it to be each, you can change that. That is really just really where this shows up is on your pick list. So I think it's important in some ways because you can also differentiate if it's bags or pounds or what it is in the unit name. So you don't want to really change the unit name either. You should create a new unit if you want a new unit. And the reason is this. Let's say I have been selling these 3-pound bags of Gravensteins for 2 years. And if I have a report, my report from WIG and your producer report is going to show that I sold 100 3-pound bags. So I sold 300 pounds. If I change this to 1 pound, because now I want to sell 1 pound bags, then that changes the entirety of the reporting. So your reporting will be messed up. So if you want 1 pound bags, just do another unit, 1 pound bags, and then just hide the
Oh,
3 pound bag and
Oh,
don't,
well,
yeah. So let's see, which one do I have that's like kind of crazy? I was gonna do Brussels sprouts. No, that one's not
yeah.
crazy. Potatoes. So like I got a lot of units for potatoes on here. That's just, unfortunately how it goes. I could delete a unit, but then it's not going to be, you know, it's not going to exist anymore. So, my question, I guess, John, is what on here are you trying to edit?
I guess it would be I've got a product listed there with a product name that I don't have anymore or I'm not using anymore. I just want to delete that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
how would I delete that? Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to be in your products. Uh, and then if you want to delete, I don't really have a product to delete, but you just click this delete button.
Okay. And so that removes it completely from everything when
No,
I
it
do that
removes it from your account.
from my account. So it still sits around in that universal
It is
product.
still in the Universal products and it will
Oh
still
my
be like
gosh.
your past. Um,
Oh, okay. So all
yeah.
right.
So because someone else, if you're like, I'm not gonna have Mokum carrots anymore and you delete it, but somebody else does have Mokum carrots, then you would
They're
delete
all
for
linked.
them too. So yeah,
I see.
yeah.
Okay.
So once the
Okay.
product's on your product, then you can edit it however you want, but it only affects your account.
Okay. All right. That's helpful. Thank you.
Shannon, real quick. So on the units, when you can have more than one unit available at a time, say I'm selling Snapdragons and I have a bunch of 10, and then I could have a bunch of 25 and a
Mhm.
bunch of 50. You could have all three of those listed under the one product, right? You just have
Yeah,
units. Okay.
if you
I
want it
never,
to be type A, like if you have 50 daffodils and you're going to sell 10 and 25,
yep.
you want to just make sure the multiple is the base unit. So if it's by the
Oh,
stem, uh,
uh-huh.
then you would want it to be this to be each. And then
Yep.
if you're selling 10 stems, you want your multiple to be 10. If
Okay.
you're selling 25, you want your multiple to be 25. And then if they buy 25, it'll take that out of the 50. And you only have 25, but if they buy 10, it'll take the 10 out of the 50 and you'll still have 40.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So that's how type A works. So I used to that here, right? So I sold daffodils, 12 bunches, so multiple of 12, and then I sold a bunch, multiple of 10, and a 10 count, sorry. Wait, what? 12, 10 count? 12, 10 counts, or one bunch of 10.
Oh,
And so there were 12 in the box. There were 12 bunches in the box. And I sold them by the each, and I sold it by the case, but I hid it by the case. So I just sold it by the each. But so one bunch is one,
okay.
and the
But
whole case is 12.
okay. That makes sense. And
Um,
then I've always sold all my products under type A. I guess I'm not supposed to if it's not when do you use C versus A, I guess?
a type C product would be there's no way to divide it up. So like uh, a a bag of tea is you're not going to have either the bag or like a teaspoon.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You just have the T. So like your bouquets are, yes, they would be type C because you're not going to sell one in half.
Yes.
But if you
Okay.
wanted to have like a discount if somebody bought 10, you could, add that in there, I guess.
Gotcha. Okay.
hmm
So Shannon, and oftentimes if I want to sell things maybe bunched or by the pound, I'll use type C for that.
Yeah. Yes, I
And
would for that, because they're not a comparable unit.
right, right.
hmm And
And I
that
use that.
has, yeah, that has been a big thing. Another way you could do that is to assign a pound value to the bunch. So if you're like, my bunches are also going to be a pound, then that wouldn't matter so much if they're going to be, pound and a half or something.
Where it happens in my case, it's often with the wholesale because selling things by so many pounds to the case versus so many bunches,
hmm
if they don't want it, with like greens with carrots or something, they just want top carrots, those sorts of things.
Yeah, and so I think that is a really good option for something like that. You just manage it a little bit differently. So I do that like a lot of the squash I have is type C
Right.
because so like for the butternut squash, we have this many 2-pound butternut squashes. I'm not selling like a 5-pound case of butternut squash, which will have lots of squash in it. It's one squash that's 2 pounds, which we have an 8-pound squash if anybody needs that. And then the other thing is by the case, that's a separate thing. I'm not going to sell, or if someone buys a case, I'll buy it. And then if not, that's not being divided up. So, um, yeah, that's another way to do it.
And is this true for both wholesale sales versus average customer?
Yes, that is, we could do that one next. Let's do that one next.
Sorry.
No, that's totally fine. So how do I set a different price for a wholesale and a retail customer? Um, Actually, I will just do this one really quick. How is the pricing set up on the storefront? I get this all the time. People want to see how what their actual price is. So I just want to go over really quick. There are three different ways that each customer is identified in LFM. And the first one is customer type. So we have basically three of those: producer, wholesale, and retail. You all are producer customer types. Then we have by distribution location, um, including our wholesale delivery. And then we also have another location, which is prearranged location. And then the customer types are assigned which ones can see which distribution location. So a retail customer cannot choose wholesale delivery as their location, because they're not assigned to it. And nobody can choose prearranged location. I choose that for you. And then price level is assigned to a customer type as well. And we have there's a lot of different price levels that you can do. And you can also assign them by category. So prices, the retail markup is assigned by category, not necessarily by customer type, but all the rest of them are. So if you want to see the retail prices that most of the customers are going to see, you can go to the Food Hub site without logging in, and you'll see the standard retail prices at their markup, which is 30 to 40%, depending on the category of the product in question. If you want to know what your wholesale price is, you're going to multiply your price by 1.18 because the markup is 18% currently for all wholesale customers. So if your price you're putting in is $5, then you times that by 1.18, which is 5.90, and that's the price they will see. They're going to
Oh,
see that in both order periods. So wholesale customers can order for our Wednesday wholesale order period. They can see that, and retail customers cannot. And then both retail and wholesale customers can order for the Friday order period. So if you have a product you're selling by the each, that you're not selling wholesale, technically a restaurant or the Goose or anyone can buy that product and the price they see is your price with their markup. So it's a lower price than the retail customers in both order periods.
Interesting. Okay.
Your price does not change, no
Okay.
matter who buys from you.
Okay. And the 18% for wholesale, is that going to stay this year as far as we know?
We are looking at all of our fees and margins and markups right now. So I don't know what all is going to happen with that.
Okay. I'm just trying to work with that new florist up in Oak Harbor, and I'm trying to figure
Yeah.
out pricing for her to be competitive. So, okay.
Yeah, totally.
So,
Um,
real quick, Shannon, sorry. So I guess I didn't realize this, but so if a wholesale customer is looking at things online for the a Friday period, if they're seeing the retail price there, they choose that, they still only pay the wholesale price. Did I understand that right?
no, they don't
Or
see the retail price
they
unless they're
they
not logged
always
in.
okay. They always just see the wholesale price. Okay,
Hmm.
that's
Hmm.
when they go
No
on.
matter what they
Okay,
buy,
yeah, okay.
that's the price they see. Um, Yeah, and then if you want to see what the producer prices are, then you can log in and order on the hub. Okay, so
And
then,
just I kind of figured that out the hard way, but there is in the producer under section under products, when you have all your product names listed, there's a little magnifying glass icon, and if you click that, it'll take you right to the storefront. And it doesn't seem to change whether you're logged in or not, because I'm at least logged in as a producer. So I was able to see quickly the retail price as I was setting. Unfortunately, I had to just keep on adjusting the price and then going and looking at it because I wanted to set like a target.
Mhm.
So it is unfortunate there's not something that helps you in the producer interface to kind of
So
like set
so
a retail price, but you just have to kind of
if Can I interject real quickly?
yeah, yeah,
So if you know what the retail price is you want, right? You just take that and divide it by what the markup is. It means you have to know what the markup is for the item
yeah,
in that category, and
which
that would be tricky for, everything that's not a wholesale right now
yeah.
because we have those three different categories. So, um,
I
yeah,
can show you some ways to do that, John. That's a good point. So I just wanted to show you that when I click on this magnifying glass and I am signed in as an employee, I see my price, which is no markup. So if you can't be logged in as a producer, if you're going to do it that way, because it's not going to show you the retail price, it's going to show you your producer price. So
Okay.
what I would do is, and this is a great time to highlight our member resources page on our website, woodbyislandgrown.com. Member resources right here under cooperative. So this has a lot of, I think, good information on here about us. And most importantly, this is where you can go and renew your membership if you need to. But over here, so in the seller's guide, I do have, no, dang it.
Just a
Okay,
quick
no,
note, and
it's
I
in the
don't
other
I
one.
don't
It's in
know
the other one.
I
New
don't know quite
wholesale.
what's
Okay.
going on, but I see the same price whether I'm logged in as a producer or not.
Okay. That's not.
I guess when I log in as a producer, I go over to that little peak where there's an icon up on the upper right, and that takes me to the hub. Maybe I'm not because that's how I've always kind of looked to see what the retail price is. Just well, maybe it's just I just go to the hub real quickly and
All the
open
same.
that up.
And maybe,
Whoa, here we go. Food Hub producer pricing. Here we go.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
your markup calculator there.
Okay. So, uh, for retail products, fresh fruits, vegetables, herbs, seeds, and plant starts are 40% markup. Bagged and bunched greens are 35%, and all other categories are 30%. So, uh, your categories are 30%. So if you have $5 product and you want to know how much it would be for a retail customer, then you multiply it by 1.4. If you want your product to be 19.99, then you do, or 1.3, sorry, 1.3. Oh my God. I'm making it more confusing. You divide that 19.99 by 1.3, and then that will give you your price.
Right.
okay.
That's helpful.
Okay, so that is in member resources, tips for selling on the Food Hub producer pricing. Um, and then so you can see what it'd be for wholesale, when you can see if am I selling something in a higher category?
Okay.
That that's really the way to do it, really. But I'm
Hmm.
gonna have to go and see if your account is not a producer account, and that means you
Maybe
have two
I'm
accounts.
logged in. Maybe I'm logged in both as a producer and as a consumer.
Yeah, I'll check on that. Okay, so let's move to wholesale pricing. So you can have the same product, you have to create different units. So if it's, you know, uh, one bouquet and then one bouquet wholesale, and that's the same product, you can have that. We do this for vegetables. All of my products on here are like that. So there's a 40-pound case and there's a 3-pound bag. But the 40-pound case, I don't want available to the retail customers. Or if it's a single product, that you want to set a wholesale price for, that's different than the retail customer price, and you don't want each other to see each other's. That has to be done by an administrator. So
Oh,
you have to contact us to set that up. And that is happens here. Product availability, which I want to show you a couple things about product availability. Um, so for whichever order period, this is for our current order period. This is all the products that are listed live on the site. And as you can see, if you keep your products always listed in availability and you just zero them out rather than unlisting them, then they're gonna show up um, on various food hub areas like this one. So this is everything that was listed. Um, but I'll show you this Puget Sound Food Hub one right here. So the 3-pound bag is this product. Then the 10-pound bag, no, it's not hidden. This is where you do it. But the 40 case is not hidden too. So I would hide it from the retail customer, and now the retail customer just can't see it at all, but the wholesale customer can still see it. And we can do that the other way around too. I can say, I don't want the wholesale customers to see the 3-pound bag. I only want it to be available to be seen by the retail customer. And then the employees can see all of it. And then we would update that.
Well, let me
If
see.
in the case that, if this said Apple Sunrise Magic, or this said zinnias in red, and then there was zinnias in red wholesale, then we would hide the retail one from the wholesale customers and we would hide the wholesale one from the retail customers. This is crazy that this is how this has to work. This is
A lot.
bonkers. I can't even, but this is how it works. So, this is a big part of, oh my God, I can't believe it's 11 o'clock already. This is a big part of the next workshop, which is you have to work with the food hub to sell wholesale through us. You have to, be able to let us know what you're selling, help us work with what your how you want that set up for the viewing of the customers. Unfortunately, that's how that has to be set up. But also, it's good to work closely together, I think, when we're both trying to sell the same thing. I didn't mean to unshare my screen. I have one more thing because I didn't realize I was going over time. Um, I just want to shout out, I did shout out this at the beginning, I think, but up in the corner of your LFM account, there's a little question mark. You can submit a ticket and ask them anything, and they'll get back to you normally within the same day. And it's normally the same two or three people, so you get to know them over time. But it's really important for them to know what questions people are having. And they do work on try on workarounds. Unfortunately, that's how they solve these problems. But they are available and we do have that, option that we might not have with a different platform where we have their ear. Uh so I really, you can always ask me too. Um, and I can always look at anything that you want to do, but I do also think it's really important that we share with LFM the experiences that we're having.
Makes sense.
This is probably a better question for the annual meeting, but why do we stick with LFM? Like, what are I assume there's some cost benefit there, but
Mhm.
why do we continue to use them?
Well, right now it's really the only system we would have access to where you all can have your own accounts and manage your own accounts.
Yeah,
But uh, there is a system in development on Orcas Island that they're just piloting switching San Juan Island Food Hub over to right now. So, that's a potential possibility right in our backyard, and that is built out through Shopify. It has other functions that I think would be really cool and usable by us as well. So, but basically, there just really, isn't a lot uh
not a
available
lot of options.
for what how we have things set up now. It'd be a big change.
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's like there's a lot of sunk costs in it.
Yes. Any more
Okay. Well,
questions?
are you interested in seeing just like basic usability feedback, or should we just do what you suggested and send that directly to LFM?
Um, You can send it to me or to them. I can always pass things on or aggregate and pass things on. If I get the same question a bunch of times, I will definitely message them and say, I've been getting these questions. That a lot of times happens more with the customer side of things when
Yeah.
we do an update, and it generally will mess with the phones. But I think so. I don't know exactly uh, how they take in that feedback, but I really do think we should send it in whatever way.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, there's some pretty basic stuff they should be fixing.
I mean, you don't even want to know the inventory like between Puget Sound Food Hub and us and how we have to have that set up when we both using the same system.
Yeah,
It's crazy. That's so crazy as well. It's like very admin heavy with everything that happens on there, and that costs a lot.
yeah.
Administration cost, labor costs a lot, and you're serving food hubs that don't have a lot of additional funds to be spending on that. So you really would want it to be um, as straightforward as possible. So, but we'll see what happens with this other
Yeah.
platform.
Well, it's nice that there's something else at least out there to give some comparison and options. But I know that like people have a lot, like I said, invested in this platform too for all its faults. So I know that's not an easy decision to make to consider changing.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure.
Shannon, I'd love to talk to you sometime, just you and I, because I think I'm probably making things messier than I need to because so many of my products are unique.
Mhm.
Like with the floral frames, I try to give people choices of color schemes and whatnot. And I wonder if there's a cleaner way to put them on the website instead of each individual one. If there's, just to make it easier. And is it better when I'm not selling a product rather than just putting zero available to delete it and then just reinstitute it the following spring or fall or what?
Mhm. Definitely take it off your availability, but
Uh-huh.
leave everything in your product
Okay.
screen because you want to access it later. Like I have a billion products in the Puget Sound Food Hub one, but only my live ones are on availability.
Okay.
But I do think probably that how you have your photos set up is the way to do it.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
we've tried, drop down menus of that kind of thing, and we feel like that doesn't sell as well
Okay.
as when they can see much of the picture.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay.
Sorry, the
No.
mailman, by you guys. My dogs are barking. But yeah, I'm also happy to like have a one-on-one and look at your account specifically and things you might want to do. There's a lot of flexibility within our system where if there's something you want to use this sales outlet for, we can probably put that together. So, um, yeah, we can definitely do that as well.
Good. Last question. And resale permit. Do you guys have a resale permit?
We do.
Okay, because I've forgotten to get it from you the last couple of years. I was reminded doing my taxes. It's like, oh, I'm supposed to have a copy of that, so I'll have to get that from you. If you can email me one, that'd be great from last
Yes,
year.
I should
Here.
actually get a 2026 one
Yeah.
because that's probably what you want, right?
Well, I'd love to have one from last year too, just so I have it in my file because I've been selling for a
Great.
few years without it to you guys. I've got them from the florist, but I forgot to get it from you.
Okay. No
Okay.
one's really asked me for that before, but you can totally, I have it and you can totally have it.
Yeah.
Um,
They say it's just for auditing purposes that I have to, like with the
mhm,
florist, I have to have a copy of theirs. I've got my resale permit, and for whatever reason, I'm supposed to have that on hand.
totally.
So, okie doke.
Absolutely. Oh man, you guys, the mailman's really almost here now. Okay, well, thank you so much. And maybe I'll see you all in a couple hours for wholesale or not. But yeah, and just keep me posted on anything that you need, okay?
Okay,
Thank you,
see you.
Shannon.
Thanks, Shannon. Very
Thanks.
good.
So,
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
record.